All right, so now let's turn our attention to the Dodgers' latest trade, which was to acquire Connor Brogdon from the Phillies in exchange for Benoni Robles. Do you know if I said that correctly? Benoni, maybe
I have
minor league
no idea.
pitcher. I know that. Blake, what can you tell us? Maybe even if it's just surface level stuff, but what do you know about Brogdon?
So the first time I actually saw about him, it was kind of Philly fans making fun of him for his frame because he looks like Slender Man. He's 6'6", and he looks like he weighs 130 pounds. So just kind of funny to see him on the mound. But then I looked into him a little when the Dodgers got him, and he was really good in 2022. He was a big part of their bullpen. He was striking out 10 per nine, walking 2 per nine, 3.27 ERA. And then he started going through some struggles in 2023, and this year he only threw 2 innings, but they were both very bad. So I think there's some upside there with especially the Dodgers pitching lab, what they can do with him. Hopefully they kind of help figure it out, but if he doesn't, like he's a guy they can DFA in a day or two and it won't really matter. But he has some good stuff, kind of an encouraging profile. So it's just one of those Dodger high upside, low risk type flyers.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. He's struggled with the Phillies this season. He's appeared in 3 games, as you touched on. Only 2 innings pitched during those. He allowed 7 runs, 6 were earned, 2 home runs. I think maybe only 3 hits overall. Walks were an issue for him. I believe he issued 6 of them in his 3 appearances. Yeah, I mean, I think you hit all the highlights, and what basically the Dodgers may be looking at with Brogdon is it wasn't all that long ago that he was a key member of the Phillies bullpen. He was part not only in the regular season 2022, but then he also pitched pretty well during the playoffs too, as they made a run to the World Series. Uh, Regressed a little bit since then. If you assuming they're going to get him in the ballyhooed prior lab that you mentioned, what areas is there something specific that you think the Dodgers might look to kind of highlight or refine or get him to focus on? Because we've seen this in the past where they get these struggling relievers and they say, hey, eliminate that pitch, focus on this one or two, and then you'll be good.
I'm not entirely sure. Like, I didn't know what they were going to do with Ryan Brazier, and then he came out and he was, of course, elite. So, like, they know way more than me. I'm going to give them that credit. But I think probably the main thing is cutting back down on the walks because when he was effective, he was walking about 2 per nine. And as he started to struggle, it jumped up to 4.9. So maybe there's something mechanically they can tweak with his control to help him get more control and figure something out there. But he does seem like a high upside player just with the stuff alone. And especially his extension being 6'6", like the ball is going to get on you faster when you're a hitter than someone who's a little shorter. So I think there's a lot of things they can play with and hopefully help get them figured out.
Yeah, and a couple of things to note with Brogdon. He's expected to join the Dodgers. I believe it'll be Monday, but certainly at some point during this week's series with the Twins. Excuse me. And the other thing is Brogdon is out of minor league option. So once he gets added on to the Dodgers active roster, if they want to remove him, there's no sending him to Oklahoma City. They're going to have to DFA him. At that point, he'll be on waivers, and since it'll be a second time he's been DFA'd, if Brogdon were to clear waivers, he would have the right to refuse an outright minor league assignment. So that's just something to sort of keep track of. Of course, at this point right now, the way it stands, the Dodgers bullpen certainly needs some help, as we were mentioning earlier, just because of the early workload. And